Greetings to you. I'm Brother James Muhammad, a student in the ministry of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and your host for this week's segment of Closing the Gap broadcast. We want to welcome all of our viewing and listening audience, thanking you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us this evening. And I promise you that your time and your attention will be well spent and well given. For those of you who join us every week, you know we always invoke the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the one God to whom all praise is due, the Lord of the worlds. We are forever thankful for his intervention in our affairs in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. We thank him for raising up from our midst his messenger, Messiah, the exalted Christ, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, through whom we have been given our beloved and blessed Redeemer. The man of whom I speak is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is to these men that we are deeply grateful and highly honored for this wonderful privilege and opportunity to bring to you some of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad as they are represented by the profound students in the ministry and followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, some of whom we're blessed to host this evening. A few, as a matter of fact, we're very, very happy and honored to host. And I want to greet all of you, my beloved brothers and sisters, those of you in the studio audience, as well as the viewing and listening audience. I'd like to greet you with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
You. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Closing the Gap broadcast. Again, I wish to express our great gratitude for your time, your attention, lending us your ears, being with us for this short period of time where we present to you, introduce to some, but present to most, the profound students of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm particularly excited about this broadcast because we're hosting, among our other guests, my longtime brother, Capt and friend. I think it's about 35 years now. Our dear brother, who I have been blessed to be mentored by, to be guided by, in my pursuit of military perfection.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Yes.
My dear brother and student assistant supreme captain, Brother Abdul Azziz Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Captain.
Wa alaikum salam. Wa alaikum salam.
Praises to Allah. And of course, we are blessed with others whom I will definitely introduce to you, particularly our young brother and sister, because as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, any effort that we're putting forth, if the youth are not at the center of it,
That's right.
then
Come
it
on,
is
come
an
on.
exercise in vanity. We are here but for a short time, and then we are gone. If we don't focus on our future, then we have no future.
That's right. Yes.
But I want to say to my young brother and sister, you are not only the future, you are the present.
Praise be to Allah.
All praises due to Allah. Let me extend the love and greetings from our co-hosts who are normally here with us, our dear brother, student minister Chad Muhammad of Muhammad Mosque, number 47. He's currently hosting our dear brother, student minister Nuri, who is in our area. We look forward to hearing from him tomorrow in St. Petersburg, Florida. And of course, our dear sister, Scholar Muhammad, the managing editor of the Final Call newspaper. He, of course, is focusing on, reflecting on our dear brother's life, Brother Naba Muhammad, the managing editor of the Final Call, or the chief editor of the Final Call newspaper, who has transitioned, whose janaza was today. So we understand her absence, although she's only physically absent.
That's right.
Both of them, not spiritually. They're here with me and with us. So we are joined by our dear brother, student Captain Calvin Muhammad. And I have these bios. The only bio that I don't need is Dr.Abdul Muhammad. I don't need it. I got his bio in here. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
All praises due to Allah. But my dear brother, Captain Calvin, I do have a bio for you. But I want to, before I do, if you don't mind, I want to read our dear sister Medina's
Absolutely.
bio.
Absolutely.
All praises due to Allah. How you doing, sis?
Blessed, highly favored, and a little bit hot. A little bit hot, but we're good. Praise be to Allah.
All right. Well, I don't. Where are you? What city are you in?
We're in Chicago, but you know there's a heat wave.
Oh, that's right. I was listening to that on the news, and when they were cautioning everybody for this week to anticipate and prepare for a heat wave across the nation.
Right.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan did say,
watch the weather.
All praises due to Allah. And so we're blessed to host our dear sister, Medina Muhammad. She is a Chicago native, a member of the Nation of Islam, born in the nation and raised, and a student of Muhammad University of Islam. Oh, no, she's an alumna. Is that pronounced correctly?
Yes.
And a vanguard at 19 years old. Are you currently in college or anticipation of going?
Yes, sir. So I graduated with my bachelor's in 2023, and inshallah I'll be back in school in the fall.
So you have a bachelor's degree at 19 years old.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. In neuroscience.
In what study? What discipline?
In neuroscience.
Go ahead.
In neuroscience. Okay, I got to say that one more time. Because this is the kind of woman that the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as they're given to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, produces. So here is, and I hope you all are listening, here is our dear sister Medina Muhammad, who is 19 years old. She received her Bachelor of Science in neuroscience?
Yes, sir.
In neuroscience. I guess that's dealing with the nerves of the body?
With the brain.
Oh, with the brain.
Right.
Excuse me.
the neurons, but the same thing.
The neurons. And she received that Bachelor of Science at the tender age of 17 years old, if it was in 2023.
So I'm 21 now. I was 19.
Oh, you were 19. Oh, okay. That's right. It says at 19. Pardon me. I got a little carried away. Still a great achievement.
That's right.
Her interest.
Even at 21.
That's right.
That's right.
I don't even want, but Captain, I don't even want to even think about what. Well, at 21, yeah, no, I don't want to even talk about it. All praises due to Allah. She received, I'm sorry, let me continue here. Her interests are developmental, educational, and childhood psychology, the science of childbearing, artistic expression, music, and serving the community. She intends to connect her passions with her purpose and is working towards establishing a fruitful career in public health with a concentration in mental health. She is a co-chair for the youth division of the National Training Conference and is committed to providing educational and engaging youth programming to keep the young minds involved. I gotta salute you, dear sister.
That's right.
All praises due to Allah.
Praise to Allah.
All praises due to Allah. And of course, we are additionally joined by our dear brother, another young, fantastic product of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, our dear brother, Akbar Khan Muhammad. He is a composer, musician, writer, and student, of course, of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Henry Akbar Khan began his musical studies at the age of 3 under the tutelage of his father and mother, Henry and Isabel Muhammad. Today, Akbar Khan performs on violin, piano, guitar, and has composed and written several original musical works, including string quartets and piano compositions. Akbar Khan has begun production on a multimedia artistic universe featuring original music, novels, and films, being inspired by the universe, contributing to the paradigm shift of what young people view and listen to today. Now there's I'm just asking because it's on here. Who is Naya Tasai Muhammad? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. She's one of our ambassadors. She's not with us today, though.
Oh, okay. Well, it's on here. And I was curious as to who she was. You know, all praises due to Allah. Man, what a wonderful achievement, dear brother.
Praises be to Allah.
I'm sure some of many. And I'm just so proud, although I had nothing to do with what you have achieved. I mean, as an elder of 76 years old, I'm telling you, I am so proud and just so happy to be around to witness what, inshallah, we will leave behind us. We can do it comfortably because we know that the nation and by extension the world is and will be in good hands.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sister Rukiah has joined us.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
All praises due to Allah. And who is the sister with you?
Sister Azziza.
Okay, praise be to Allah. Oh, assalamu alaikum. Oh my goodness. It's really good to see you. I thought you were one of the youths that I had never met.
Inshallah, inshallah.
It's so wonderful to see you, sister.
Thank you, sir.
And may Allah continue to bless you.
Yes,
All
sir.
praises
You
to
well.
Allah. You know, we pray for you and the Assistant Supreme practically every day. Definitely at least once a week. Every week.
Thank you, sir.
All praises due to Allah. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. All right, my dear sister Rukiah, let me find your bio. I have it here. Sister Rukiah Nasira Muhammad, a proud native of Chicago, serves as the co-chairperson of the USOS National Training Youth Division. Brother Captain, can you tell us what those acronyms represent for the viewing and listening audience?
USOS is United Schools of Survival.
Okay.
And, then it's the NTC. Did it say NTC as well?
Yes, it does.
Right.
NTC,
National Training
YD.
Conference Youth Division.
All praises due to Allah. Thank you, beloved. She is the beloved granddaughter of the conference founder and host. Wow, I didn't know that, brother. I look at y'all, so y'all are all very young to me. And even though you were my captain and you, of course, were my mentor and trainer, you're still many years younger than me.
That's right. That's right.
But you all, man, I feel so blessed. Let me go on before I get too emotional here. All right. Our dear sister, she is the, I read that. Okay. Her journey with the National Training Conference began in early childhood, first as a young attendee in the child care department, while her parents, Sister Joy and Brother Michael Muhammad, diligently supported the convening of the conference alongside her grandparents. Having grown up within the spirit and mission of the conference, Sister Rukiah's progression into leadership is both a natural evolution and a fulfillment of the NTC's long-term vision. She now co-leads a division that was purposefully designed and built with the input, creativity, and energy of herself and her peers. A college anthropology major and a licensed esthetician. Okay, you got to tell us what that is.
Yes.
I'll continue reading, but in the course of the broadcast, you got to tell us what that is. All right. All praises due to Allah. She is, again, a licensed esthetician by trade. Sister Rukiah brings a unique and creative balance to the NTC YD. She is known for her thoughtful insights, love of baking, and peaceful nature walks, hobbies that reflect her grounded and artistic personality. Through her active roles within the NTCYD, Sister Rukiah has cultivated a broad range of personal and professional skills, many of which individuals typically acquire only after working in multiple professional settings. Her advice to fellow youth and young adult participants ages 13 to 25. I'll take your advice. Thank you. Is simple yet profound. Take all that is being given to you, even if you don't feel like it's relevant to you now. It will be at some point. Sister Rukiah Nasira Muhammad is a shining example of the conference's impact across generations and a dynamic leader who continues to embody its legacy and future. And Brother Akbar Khan will inform you of the proposal I made to him, which extends to you. All praises due to Allah. But let's continue on. And our dear brother, student captain Calvin Muhammad. He has been a member of the Nation of Islam since June 3rd, 1990, accepting the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad at Mosque Mariam after a lecture of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan while traveling with believers from Muhammad Mosque number 3, in Milwaukee. Since accepting the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Calvin Muhammad has served his nation in several capacities, starting at a very young age. At the age of 13, he began his service in the Junior FOI as the Junior FOI captain. At age 15, he became the drill instructor for the FOI and began the formal introduction to the manhood training that would mold him. He has since served as a squad leader, lieutenant, second lieutenant, mosque investigator, and captain in both Milwaukee and Kansas City, Missouri. He is currently serving as the student captain in Kansas City, Missouri. His training is martial arts and security training. Calvin Muhammad's martial arts and security training began the same week he joined the Nation of Islam in 1990. As a practitioner of the martial arts for the past 32 years, his martial arts experience includes experience in Kempo, Goju, karate under Sensei Ricky Buchanan, Shaolin, is that Seal Lum?
That's correct. Seal Lum.
Kung Fu under Sifu or Saifu Steve, is that Kleppy or Klepp?
Kleppy.
Okay. And later Grandmaster Abbas Yassin. Most impactful is his training in VSK. And what is VSK again, brother Captain?
It's an acronym that represents the three instructors, three teachers, Grand Professor Florendo Visitacion, Moses Powell, and Soke Littlejohn Davis. So VSK, their systems.
All praises due to Allah. Okay, so that is VSK Jiu-Jitsu under Grandmaster Abdul Aziz Muhammad since 1996, holding where he currently holds the rank of, is that Sadan, third degree black belt?
Sandan, yes, sir.
Sandan, I'm sorry. And he, in addition to training in the martial arts with GM, and that is, of course, for those of you who may not know, it's Grandmaster Abdul Aziz Muhammad. Calvin Muhammad has worked with him in the development and deployment of many security-based trainings with various organizations and law enforcement officials. Additionally, he has been alongside GM Abdul Aziz Muhammad with the development of the National Training Corps, first as an attendee in his late teens in 1996, now as a helper in the planning and development of the National Training Conference. All praises due to Allah. Now, last but certainly not least, when I don't have to read anything of this right here, he is my brother, my friend.
That's right.
My captain for 35, it's at least 35 years.
Longer.
Yeah, it may have been longer.
Yes.
I remember when Allah, boy, I don't want to take up all this time, but I just get nostalgic when I see my brother, you know. I remember when Allah returned me back to the nation, you know, under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He was so patient with me. I mean, you know, I didn't have any documentation. I was here before, brother. I gotta go through this again. I was here before, man. Oh, brother, you know, we just have to, you know, we have to find some proof, somebody to be a witness that you were here prior to 75. And Brother Abdullah, who is now in Atlanta, he came to the mosque one Sunday. I don't know if you remember this, Brother Captain, but when he walked in the door and the meeting was going on, I jumped out of my seat and said, "He knows me." But that's just a little history. Then, you know, as a brief follower of Warithuddin Muhammad, I received the name Abdullah Haq Bushra, and then he had to exercise patience with me there, because brother, I got a Muslim name, man. You want me to go back to James? And he so patiently said, yes, brother. I mean, I understand, brother, but the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and in this tone, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked of us who are returning to return under the name that you received your registration. So I was gritting my teeth. I said, all right, if that's what I have to do, then then I'll do that. Just a little history. And then, in my retraining, growth and development at number 7, he always had his eye on me. I didn't know that until he allowed me to, he selected me to be his FOI secretary. I had no idea he was watching me, I remember, Brother Captain, I remember the maneuver that we were on outside of the mosque in the street, and you had ordered us to assume a certain position. But all of the FOI who assumed that position, in your perception, in your eyes, they were not being cognizant or aware of their surroundings. But I was. And you made note of that. I don't know if you remember that. This is the only brother that acted as though he was aware of what was going on around him. And so I don't know if that impressed you, or whatever. But at any rate, out of your mercy, out of your decision, you allow me to be. Wow. Oh, that must have been a mistake. Sorry. But anyway, I was blessed to be his FOI secretary for, I don't know how long it was, a couple of years maybe, before you reluctantly allowed me to pursue what I really wanted to pursue, and that was the student ministry. And so eventually I did, and I was blessed to become Brother Hafiz's assistant, one of his assistants in Mosque number 7, and the student study group coordinator of Queens and Long Island, New York, under Brother Hafiz. And we did a lot of work there. He has mentored me through that. I'm not going to get into some other stuff. I could tell you how protective he was of me, but I don't want to get too emotional. But he watched me and guided me in my growth and development. And eventually I was tasked to come to Tampa, Florida, to be the student minister there. And I served there for several years, establishing Mosque number 95 in St. Petersburg, Florida. But I owe this brother a debt of gratitude. I love him indescribably, inestimably, and so thank you for everything, Brother Captain. May Allah bless you. Now let's get on with the show. I'm sure the audience is saying, Brother James, get on with it. Brother, come on. Yeah, I most definitely will. But I want to welcome all of you to Closing the Gap broadcast. And of course, the theme of the show, the focus of the show, is the upcoming national training to be held I don't have the flyer in front of me. Where's it going to be held, Brother Captain?
At Tinley Park, at the Tinley Park Convention Center, where we had it last year.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Here in Chicago, in the Chicagoland area. And it will be on from July 24th through the 27th. And we have a lot. So as you go on, they are definitely going to share a great deal of what is going to happen and, excitement.
Excellent. We do have the promos, you know, we have the flyer and we have a couple of videos. If you'd like them to be shared, you can cue us as to when you would like them shared. But we're looking forward to that. All praise is due to Allah. Feels like, you know, I don't have the skill and talent, but I feel, you know how you feel like when you go see a karate movie?
Yes, sir.
And when you come out, you think you can beat the world. You ain't got no skill at all.
A lot of inspiration.
A lot of
inspiration and not a lot of skill. But
right.
yes, sir.
All praises due to Allah. But Sister Sheila, if you could just very briefly just bring up one of the promos so the people could see the flyer, and we'll revisit the promos where the videos are concerned. This is one of them. It's kind of small. Is this a video, sis? Sister Sheila, is that a video? Send another one. We'll get into the video, but put up another one if you could. Okay, it's taking a little time. Oh, here's there. Put that one up. I like that one. I definitely like that one. All praises to Allah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother Captain reminds me of the movies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
With the background, it certainly does. It reminds me of the movies.
Yes.
All praises due to Allah. Well, that's for your viewing pleasure, our dear beloved audience. We look forward to seeing you there. As you can see, from July 25th to the 27th at Tinley Park Convention Center, 18451 Convention Center Drive, Tinley Park, Illinois. Hope to see you there, but we'll revisit more of the promos and the brief videos. But let's talk about it, Brother Captain, if you will.
Sir.
Let's talk about it, dear brother.
Yes, sir. Well, what we can do is, in terms of, you know, what is it all about? What are we doing? What have we done? And what are some of the plans? I think with the youth department, they have a litany of things. You know, I want you to know, I want everyone to know that the National Training Conference is multiple seminars within one conference. So and that's why we went to calling it a conference, because a conference we it was always called the National Training Seminar, but we then changed it to conference because it's just so much involved, and it's not just one thing. So we have the youth that has gotten involved, and really the youth is the biggest, the other biggest part of what we do. And this is why it's so great for them to share some of what they do. And maybe we can get Rakaya to kind of open up and even ask questions of the guests that are on, so that we can kind of open up what is this youth portion of the National Training Conference. And then we can get to Brother Captain Calvin, who can share more about the other part of the National Training Conference. So Rakaya, would you do us the honors?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
So just briefly, Medina and I have been involved together, because neither one of us have done this alone. We have been involved for a very long time, as you read in our bios. But as far as our roles as the co-chairs, We have taken on this responsibility with the hope of not only bringing youth to the conference, but getting them involved. I feel like, if I remember correctly, a lot of us were always there. We weren't always doing anything, though. It was mainly just like our parents and things of that sort being involved and doing stuff. And we were kind of just running around, probably getting into stuff we weren't supposed to. So with the development of the youth division, and shout out to Sister Lisa, she definitely spearheaded this whole production of it as a whole from the very beginning, and she brought me and Medina on and got us included and allowed us to show, you know, what we know how to do, and what we have learned, and it allowed us to gain many things as well. So over the years, we have developed workshops catered to the youth, and honestly, what is going on with the youth in the world. And that's the same for this year as well. Many of our workshops have to do with mental health and physical health, and just mental warfare that we're experiencing in the world right now. So all of those things are a direct reflection of the youth and what we're going through, and that's where me and Medina's mindset has been with our youth committee, to make sure that our workshops are cohesive with the life that we are currently living at this moment. That is what I have to add as like just a starter. I don't know if Medina wanted to add anything before we move forward from.
I'm sure she does.
Of course I do. Thank you, Rakaya. So yeah, yes, sir. What Rakaya was saying about us being involved, for all these years, and started off with us just being in the rooms. Like, I won't lie, like it used to be fun to not have anything to do and to roam and go to the mall and do things, but that's what a lot of the youth believe. But really, they start to feel a little bit left out when they are not able to kind of grasp or be interested in what's happening, because it just kind of goes a little bit above their head. So the youth division, specifically our workshops, we are able to cater them to the current, like Sister Rakai said, the current times, what's going on. And a lot of people, when they come in there, first they're a little mellow, a little shy, a little closed off, like, why am I in here? But give it 10 minutes, everybody's really locked in and interested, and we've been able to have a wonderful turnout over the years. It's definitely been a blessing to be involved with the youth division. Like Sister Rakai said, this year we have a lot of action-packed workshops, but we're not just here for the youth. Even though we are the youth division and we do spearhead a lot of the production for the youth division, a lot of us also play a role in the broader conference, which is the most important part. We know that most of us at some point, one or another, has trained in martial arts or different forms of fighting. We have also, we can also benefit as youth from what is being offered to the overall conference. We have security workshops. We have agriculture workshops. We have securing your home, securing your houses of worship, things that are relevant to all of us. And what we find is that when we get the youth engaged and involved, and bring them on, we find that we're actually able to take away some of the information that we wouldn't have known before. A lot of people write off youth. Oh, you don't need to know this. Oh, this is a grown folks conversation. You need to be involved in this. And it's something that could potentially save their lives. So it's beautiful. It's a blessing that Dr. Abdul Aziz and Sister Aziza entrust us to help build this youth division, and also entrust us and open up the floor for the youth to be involved in the overall conference, because all the information that's being provided is just very useful. It'll save our lives, and a lot of people, we're getting testimonies right now on our social medias at NOYNTCYD and at NOYNTC. Follow him on Facebook at Grandmaster Anthony Muhammad, and follow Facebook at, y'all gonna figure it out. It's gonna be somewhere. But yes, we've been trying to get a lot of testimonies, because especially from the youth, because like you said earlier, the youth is the future. But also you start to see, like, sometimes you won't hear it directly from a young person. They might not show it on their face how they feeling. They might actually look the opposite of what they're feeling. But we've been able to get a lot of testimonies saying, like, my favorite part is mat time. My favorite part is the securing the houses of worship workshop, things that you would never actually think, but just from hearing what we've been hearing over at least the past few weeks, we know that this conference is right on time. And, you know, Brother Abdul Azziz and the team, the overall team, they work diligently every single year to come up with a theme that runs along with the times, runs along with the what the current words and guidance of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. And this year's is triumph, overcoming your trials. I can't remember the exact words, but you know, a lot of things are going on in the world, and this conference always comes at the right time. So yes,
beautiful. If I could, just one more, Brother Akbar Khan. See, this is just really interesting for me. Really, it's been interesting all of the years of your presence, both of you, and how you have been driven to be leaders, and you haven't shied away from it. You know, that's great. Now, Brother Akbar Khan is someone who has come on recently. So I'd like to just, for myself, I'd like to find out again, what was it? When did you come on?
Yes, sir.
What was it that moved your spirit to make that happen?
Yes, sir. So before I get into it, but still answering your question at the same time, I think, you know, I don't want us to think of the conference as something small. I know everybody here is experienced and seasoned, and they've been producing it for 30 years. But taking a step back, that's 30 years of work. I came on, sir, in 2021. And I came on, or I was inspired to join the year prior to, in 2020, when that year the training conference was held virtually. And once again, I was 15 years old, attending virtually the National Training Conference, because of course this was during the worldwide quarantine.
Yes.
But I came on, and I was enjoying myself in all the workshops. And in almost every workshop, I would see 4 individuals. I would see Sister Medina, I would see Sister Rakaya, I would see Sister Naya, who we mentioned earlier, and then Brother Hashim out of Atlanta, Georgia. And being an attendee, I would look at these individuals and I would say, I don't think they're too much older than me. You know, I kind of want to help out as well. But just being in that space, I from that moment, I always looked up to those youth that were the panelists, and now that are the co-chairs of this great seminar. So just very plainly, I'm inspired to be here this year because I feel like I'm in a room of giants. I haven't met Brother Calvin personally, but hearing the bio, I know that it's been years of hard work right alongside Brother Abdul Aziz. So I'm very grateful to be here, and I don't want us to talk, you know, about the seminar in a way where it's small. This is for the Nation of Islam. This is the 3rd biggest gathering of the members of the Nation of Islam.
That's right.
And for those who don't know or don't notice, this gathering is different from the others, in that the others, Savior's Day and Holy Day of Atonement, it's more so speaking. And so people come and they listen to a message. Inside the training conference, what makes it so different is people are engaging in what they're learning. They're doing what they're learning right after. So there's a lot more action and physical activity and mental activity happening because you're talking in it. And sometimes, especially inside the youth division, there's maybe like a circle where people would discuss what they talk about. So this is a lot more interactive. And so just being somebody new, I can say that this is not something small. This is a very grand 30-year anniversary of something very, very special for not only the Nation of Islam, but people all over the world. As Sister Medina was saying, this is a conference where we can learn and prepare ourselves for times of need and want. So once again, I am grateful to be here.
That's awesome.
All praises due to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, Brother Calvin, we have not heard from you.
Oh, man. You know, first of all, thank you so much, brother, for always accommodating us.
That's right.
On your platform and being so generous with your time and accommodating. And we could not get this word out. We don't have some type of large advertising budget. It's the kind hearts of brothers like yourself who have a platform that allow us to come on, that allow us to get this word out. And not only just for this show, but you and your staff do an amazing job with the other podcasts. So I hope that all of the viewers would stay tuned in to this channel, because he always brings something of value and substance.
That's right.
I'm listening to our brothers and sisters here, and one thing that I just recognized from the Student Assistant Supreme Captain, I was having a conversation with Minister Ishmael not too long ago, and he was talking about back in the 90s, and he said, Brother Calvin, in the 90s, the nation was run by youth, and we had 18-year-old captains, you had ministers in their 20s. And I reflected on the first national training when I came in as a teenager. And, you had the Student Assistant Supreme Captain, who was the first officer in Chicago at the time. And, there wasn't departments like we have now. Mama Azziz sitting right there was all of the departments. And she was handling registration. She would go from there to run a workshop. But I bring that up because I remember leaning over to my first officer at the time. I was under him, and I said, how old is he? I whispered. And he said that, oh man, he's not even in his 40s yet. Talking about the Student Assistant Supreme Captain. And I was like, whoa, he looks younger. That's how young the crowd was at that time. We, to think about somebody almost in their 40s, we was like, man, he doesn't look like it. And so I said that because after 3 decades of the training that the National Training Conference has given, this training now has produced future leadership. You have people who are holding captain's positions. You have people who are holding the positions of student ministers, and even greater, who were groomed and trained as a result of this training, the National Training Conference.
Yes,
and so to see it come full circle now we have something specifically for the youth. But again, we also have been able to accommodate those who are growing and maturing in the Nation of Islam. And so you have things that have taken place that have become standardized across the country that were answering vital questions for a need for training that we've always had in the Nation of Islam. Give a big shout out to our student sister regional captain, Saba, who has in the national training developed departments and certifications that are now standardized across the sisters. We have the check procedure. You have answers to a lot of what we need, from how do we grow food? How do we do medical attendance to those who need it in a critical situation? We have those who, one of the hallmark presentations that have come out of the national training, because the Student Assistant Supreme Captain working with the Supreme Captain, and they're all queuing off of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. One of the hallmark presentations that have come out of the national training is defending Farrakhan. And you have people who have tuned in who may have been at a loss for words. Not only that, we go into microbiology, how to clean things up, dealing with developing community relationships. I was reflecting on a workshop that we were given on how to develop relationships when we move into certain communities that allow us to be more active and more effective. We had workshops on how to establish that relationship with law enforcement officials. And so these are some staples that have grown out of the national training, as Sister Medina has said, where it's not necessarily we're in there throwing one another around, but it is a well-rounded, multifaceted conference that deals with the youth. And it also grooms you as you mature in the Nation of Islam. There's always another level of the training. And so I'm uniquely excited. 3 decades, 30 years of training, as Khan said. So we have 30 years of data going back on how to become more efficient for the next year. So I'm just excited for this year.
Yes, sir.
Man.
All praises due to Allah. And we are grateful. We are excited along with you, but we are grateful. I am particularly grateful because coming into the nation 53 years ago, the level of leadership, of course, it was qualitative, no question about it. That was how the training I came up under with our beloved Captain Yusuf Shah. May Allah be pleased with him.
Yes.
But I see the evolution of qualification of the student labor now, which I'm so very, very happy about. In the Quran, they chided Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by saying he only has the meanest of people with him. The poorest of people, or the ignorant of people with him. Even as they said that about the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Well, he only has the ghetto dwellers, the drug addicts, the alcoholics, that ilk, if you will, or that genre, if you will, to follow him, which of course was not true. Initially, it may have been because the scripture says the poor heard the Messiah gladly. The rich was busy being rich. They saw no need for a prophet, a reformer, or a restorer. They saw no need for one. But the poor heard him gladly. And now I see an evolution of the quality and qualification of the laboring leadership. It really makes me feel very, very good and very, very hopeful. And I feel like, as I said, as we move on, we are comforted in knowing that the nation will be in good hands. Right. All praises due to Allah.
All praises are due to Allah.
Now, I want to ask our young brothers and sisters, considering the great challenge that our young people are under, and of course, the attack that our young people are under via social media and, of course, other media avenues, you're really under attack. I don't know how I would have fared had I come up in the kind of attack and influence and attraction of the world that you all have to come up in. So I would like you, if you would, to give us some tips, some points, and, some of your experience as to how to combat this onslaught, because the enemy is definitely after you.
Yes, sir. I don't mind going first.
Go right ahead, brother. Yes.
So that's a very good question. One of our workshops that we are in the planning stage of, so I'm not going to reveal too much and spoil it. But one of our workshops is an arts and culture workshop. And I mentioned recently how it might seem kind of odd that an arts and culture workshop is inside a training seminar that most people think is martial arts and survival. But it goes back to what you just mentioned, Brother James. There's a lot of every young person today is on social media. Yeah. And when they're on social media, they're creating something. They're creating videos, they're creating films, they're creating scripts, they're creating music, they're creating plays or skits where they're acting and they're going through a storyline of some sort. And so what we find and learn, whether it's in our own personal studies or through, as I did through the Honorable Ms. Farrakhan, is that inside the world of arts and culture, once you get to a certain point, you start trying to get pulled this way and that way into different rooms and circles. And you may be tempted to promote something that isn't truly you and who you are as an individual. And so going back to why do we have an arts and culture workshop, even as we're creating on social media and even as we're navigating social media, we need to make sure that we have our mind tuned in on the goal. Young people and people in general, we have energy and we have life within us.
Yes.
And so that life and that potential, it needs to be directed in the right way. So this seminar on arts and culture and creating arts and culture, whether it's online or whether it's music, like myself, or film or dance, we are honing in on what is the right frequency that we're trying to send out when we create these things.
Come on, brother.
And so thinking about all these things going on, that's what the training seminar is for. You don't, the training seminar isn't just physical activity, although that's a component. It's a physical training, it's a mental training, it's a spiritual training to focus in that life force and energy and energy that we have within us, so that it produces the right effect and it hits the right frequency inside others, and we can create a better environment, a safer environment for us online and offline as well.
Beautiful.
All praises due to Allah. Sister Rukiah or Sister Medina?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Either
I'll go. Going off of what Brother Akbar Khan said, some tips. I was literally just talking about this today. As a young person, you have to stay patient. You have to be prayerful, and you have to do things. You have to be studied. You have to study, and you have to do things that combat the pull of the enemy's world. So
Right.
it would be a lie to say that the enemy's world doesn't pull, because the enemy's job to make evil fair seeming. Additional to that, we are all consumed by the world around us, even if we want to say that we're not. So what we have to do as youth is counteract that with actions that support our growth, our health, our development as righteous people. Even if you're not a Muslim, as a righteous person in your nature, doing things that build you in a positive light, not operating from the lower self, not operating from the broken self, the unhealed self, the hurt self, doing things that are only detrimental to yourself. Like, you literally have to, like, intentionally every day counteract the enemy's world by doing things that counteract the enemy's world. For example, like, let's say you love music and you've been dibbling and dabbling into not good music. You can still listen to music. Let's find some more. Let's start first with finding music that doesn't have cussing in it. Then we'll change to finding music that has positive talk in it. And then we'll change to music that still sounds good, but supports a message that you believe in. Right?
Yeah.
With that comes reading books that help you, connecting with God, doing things that only build you up versus tapping into things that build you down. Maybe limit the amount of time you spend on social media. Limit the amount of time you spend doing frivolous things. Work, be active, do things for your physical growth, because it's like I said before, it's not like the enemy's world is not going to pull. That's his job. He's doing his job. So we have to do our jobs as youth to be like, no, because he said he'll get all except for my purified ones. So we all have to strive to be one of those purified ones that he won't get.
Beautiful.
All praise is due to Allah. Beautiful.
Yes, sir. My answer is kind of along the same lines as what Medina was just saying, but more on the aspect of community. Anybody who knows me knows I can't keep the word community out of my mouth. That is like one of my favorite things to preach, because I feel like community helps build the reality that we all desire. And making sure that you have the people around you that help flourish and pour into you, into what you want to be. So this message isn't just for Muslims and children of believers. This is a universal message. Whatever you're trying to achieve, you have to make sure that whoever is around you, whoever is in your circle, is trying to achieve that same goal, who is trying to be that same type of person that you're striving to be as well. I'm so grateful that I've had Medina in my life since I was a child, a baby. So she has helped me continue to be on the straight path. She has been my sister to, guide me. And, we've done that for each other. So I'm eternally grateful. And that's something that I will forever tell people to look for. So yes, community. Another thing is making sure that you're clear on what you want. Some people don't, they just do whatever the herd is doing, and that's how you get lost. That's how you get sucked into doing stuff you're not supposed to do. Making sure that you as an individual know what you want and what you believe, because anybody can take you off that course if you're weak in your faith. So making sure that you know, making sure your foundation is strong in what you want and what you believe and what you are trying to achieve. So that would be my advice.
All praises due to Allah. That's wonderful advice. I want to ask you, as we segue into a related question regarding our youth and religion as such. Now, our youth generally shy away from any structural religion. That is a religion that imposes what they may perceive as restrictions and inhibitions or prohibitions of what you all might want to do. My personal interest, particularly because I want to be able, through this medium, but also, fishing for the mosque meetings and such, I want to be able to have in my effort the ingredient that is attractive that to the youth. Like, what can I invite them to other than just, come in here, our minister, come in here, come hear the message, of our student minister. What can we do? What is attractive to you? If you were being approached and solicited to come to a religious meeting, how would you do it? What would you say?
Well, firstly, I don't think that our youth or my peers are running from structure. I think
Okay.
that the key ingredient that is missing a lot of times is the why. A lot of these religious groups are saying, do this, do this, do this, do this. And then you ask them why, and they say, you can't question God, you can't question whatever. And a lot of us are very inquisitive and we just want answers. So if you don't have no answers to the question, you're going to be like, okay, I don't know why I should believe this. I'm going to go. I feel like a lot of people, the reason why even people who are not Muslim, they gravitate towards the minister is because he doesn't shy away from answering the question.
That's right.
He opens up the floor to give you supreme wisdom and answers to all the questions that you've been wondering, and he does it with the intentions of not judging you, not looking down on you, not asking you where you've been, not looking into your past to give you critiques. Like, he literally is just telling you who's the original man, this, that, and the third, and inspiring you to want to change. Like, it's that one video where the minister, I think he's in New York, and he's talking to the people outside, and they started off smoking, shirts off, then they start pulling the shirt on, because the word, when it's given with the right energy, like Balak Barkhan said, like, our words have energy, our words are frequency. So when they're given with the right intention, then the people around it have no choice but to submit. Well, I think what's missing a lot of times is, like, I'm not saying with you, but just in general in a lot of spaces, is that love, that true love and understanding, and not like the implicit bias that we have towards youth or the implicit bias that I might have towards an elder. Like, we have to, like Sister Rakai was talking about community, we have to, like, knock that thought out of our head first. Like, if you think that somebody's running away from you, then you're going to put that into the atmosphere. Maybe they are actually interested in what you're saying, they just don't say it. So I think, answering your question, I think for the most part, if I was inviting a young person, or I was a young person being invited to a meeting or something, I would want there to be an opportunity for me to share my perspective. I work a lot in the community with different things. Even today, I was doing some type of mentorship thing, which is why I'm a little bit underdressed. A lot of people, like I was just talking about, a lot of people they automatically say, man, them youth, they so unruly. All they do is loot and yell and cuss and break things. Like, that's possibly true sometimes. It might be true. But it's also like, there are youth that you ask them why they do that, and they'll tell you, well, I just feel like nobody in the community cares for me, so why would I care about their property? So I think that sometimes maybe the meeting itself is wonderful, and to an ear who wants to listen, they'll listen. But I think coupled with the meeting, I would also be looking for some type of opportunity for me to get feedback, some type of opportunity for me to maybe expound with my peers about the topic, first and foremost. And maybe the topic first should be around
Yes.
youth empowerment or something to reel the youth in. And then after that, they might be encouraged to keep coming back because they know, because a lot of our youth have had their trust broken. Now from that experience, they know, like, okay, I can trust that they actually care with what I have to say, who I am. Maybe I'll come back and see what they, got going on.
That's a very beautiful answer. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm really sincerely interested, definitely, in improving my ability to reach out and to attract.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very, very much. Brother Akbar Khan, would you like to contribute?
I think I'm going to let Sister Rakaya go first.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Yes.
Of you. Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. I think when it comes to dealing with the youth, it's important to understand the psychological warfare that is happening with the youth today, and understanding the language and how the enemy has used language and words to weaponize, good things that are good for us. Even the word religion, a lot of youth stray away from because it feels constricting. Like it doesn't feel like something that they want to be a part of, simply because of the connotation that has been put on the word. So that's one aspect, and how we use language. I mean, a lot of it's kind of 50-50 depending on who you're talking to, but some people prefer the word spirituality, or just finding, a higher being or something along those lines. Unfortunately, the enemy has used language that has put in the youth's mind to stray away from things that is good for them. So that's one thing we should keep in mind when we're trying to attract the youth. As well as, Medina was speaking before about our own biases and how our own biases can kind of stop us from connecting with a person. And I think that's important too. That also goes back to the language piece as well. Just as a FYI, I'm very heavy on language and the use of language, and how how it has and can affect a person, and the way that you communicate. Communication is so important. And when we're trying to attract somebody to something like this, like let's be real. Let's be real about what we're dealing with. We know that it is the life-giving teachings, and we know that it is the truth. However, the enemy has worked so hard to make us seem crazy, to make us seem like we just believe in just outlandish things, which we know not to be the truth. But we also have to study the enemy and what he has taught to know how to combat that thing. So when it comes to the youth, we have to be like the minister. We have to be patient. We have to have patience, because unfortunately the enemy has worked so hard, and he is succeeding with some of us, and we have to be mindful of that. We cannot underestimate him at all. So going back to what I was saying about being like the minister, we have to have patience with each other. And that's not even just with youth. It's with adults, it's with elderly, it's with even the children, the young toddlers. We have to have patience with each other in order to achieve what we want to achieve. That goes along with anything you want to do. You have to have patience. So especially when you're dealing with a brother or a sister that you claim to love, you see this person all the time. You should have patience for them, especially knowing your own struggles, giving them that same grace that you would want somebody to give you. So I don't really feel like there's a cookie cutter answer as far as how to handle the youth specifically. Every person is different. But starting out with having patience and being mindful of the way that we're speaking is a great way to start, because every person, like I said, every person is different. How you're going to attract one person is not going to be the same how you attract another person. I could meet my friend at work and be like, you let's take a day off of work and go here, and that could be my avenue. But then I meet somebody else in another setting and I have to approach them differently because one, the relationship might be different, and two, the person is different. So just being mindful of how we're attracting everybody. Everybody's not going to be the same. We're not going to be able to give everybody a final call on a bean pie and everybody's going to be receptive to that. It unfortunately does not work like that. So we have to be able to be flexible in our approach with getting, specifically you're asking about the youth. Yeah, getting the youth to come and be a part of this life-giving teachings and accepting it for themselves.
All praise is due to Allah.
Yes,
Wonderful response. Before we proceed, just a very brief announcement. We've reached a little past the top of the second hour of the show, and it goes really fast. But just want to, again, thank all of our viewing and listening audience. And for those of you who are tuning in right now, we are being blessed to host our dear brother, the Student Assistant Supreme Captain, Dr. Abdul Azziz Muhammad, along with Student Captain Calvin Muhammad, and our wonderful and beautiful youth representation, our dear Sister Rakaya Muhammad, Brother Akbar Khan Muhammad, and Sister Medina Muhammad. Stick around if you've just tuned in, and for those of you who are enjoying yourself and you enjoy these broadcasts that we attempt to bring to you, we'd like to ask you if you would help us by, of course, you've already demonstrated the best help that we can ask for, and that, of course, is your attendance. But as we do have financial responsibilities, just very briefly, just want to ask our viewing and listening audience, if you can, to help us financially by donating to Closing the Gap Broadcast Network. You can donate via PayPal at jkingdom1@aol.com or Cash App at CTG Broadcast, and Zelle at closingthegapbroadcast@gmail.com. We really appreciate your help. We could never have done what Allah is blessing us to do without your help. And we've grown from a very small, limited broadcast to now a network of 6 broadcasts. And we've done that by your help, with your help. So we ask you to please continue to help us and visit our website. It's ctgbnetwork.com. You can take a look at it, but it's being rebuilt, restructured, and improved. But you can go to the website and take a look at it. Give us your comments, your critique, if you will, not only of the website, but of the show. We want to hear from you. So you can put your comments in what you say, DM us. And we want to hear from you. But thank you so much for all of you who have tuned in and continue to do so. Now back to the broadcast. All right, the upcoming national conference. Yes, sir, Brother Captain.
I want to, we have Sister Azziza there.
Okay, yeah.
Who's been there with me, and I should say we've been there together all of this time. And as Brother Captain Calvin mentioned, she was and really has been still a major part,
yes, sir,
in the back and front of this. So I would just, want her to really kind of share, if at all possible, her experience, her activity, and what does it mean to her.
Yes, absolutely. And you can chime in anytime, dear sister. Yeah. Say what you want when you want. We admire, respect, and love you, dear sister. And whatever you want to say, when you want to say it, please feel free to do so.
Because she's been, I'm sorry, hun, but she's been, and to all of them, really, she's called Mama Aziza.
That's right.
So she is, and listen, they're old folk. They call her Mama Aziza too. I mean, so she's that. She's been that, to a lot of people. So, Aziza, you can share.
All praises due to Allah.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum.
Thank you again, Brother James. Your broadcast, as I know, it reaches so many people on dealing with so many other topics. I enjoy being on it with Dr. Patrice as well.
Yeah.
Speaking about the, like cancer alternatives and whatnot. But I do want to say that USOS, United Schools of Survival, my vision of it has always been about the representation of survival on all levels. So yes, we started out very heavy with the martial arts training, but even on our first seminar, we had workshops.
That's right.
To address the needs of our nation. Okay, and the vision though of schools of survival has been made possible through these conferences because we have truly evolved into a vast how should I say into a vast organization of training.
That's right.
As Captain Calvin stated, all the different training workshops we've had since we started. And that's what I had wanted to see. And 30 years now, we're seeing that. And the children, component with the youth, that was something that I can't say that I actually thought of. But when Sister Lisa started speaking, it just made sense. Mm-hmm. And everybody will tell you the Grand Master and I have always had a lot of children around, and it just made sense. And I'm glad to see that as a big part of this conference because we have children who are coming, and because of their experience, they are becoming registered members of the Nation of Islam.
Allahu Akbar.
And that's major. That's major, but it's major also because it shows that our youth are doing something great, and they are a great example of what other youth really do desire. Sometimes they don't really know what they want till they see it in front of them, and they say, "Oh, I want to be like that person." So,
yes,
yeah, that's what I'm very happy about that. I'm happy to be able to see 30 years coming into play.
Yeah.
And I thank Allah for that. And we just got to keep doing what we're doing. And I'm so glad that we are, we've had minds like Sister Lisa R., Captain Calvin, and we have Brother Terrence from North Carolina. We have so many people with so much experience and so many things that have just latched on, joined on, and have taken us to a whole nother level. This is not just the doc and I. Right. Oh my God, no, it's not just the doc and I. They have helped us to become what we are today. Sister Bacola and people who stayed with us from the time we were in the high school.
That's right.
Putting this on, you know what I'm saying?
All praises due to Allah.
And as Calvin said, yeah, I remember those times. Yes, handling the registration and passing it on to someone else so I could go make sandwiches.
All praises due to Allah.
Yeah, yes. But it's beautiful. And it's all about what we can give, what God has given us that we must give unto others. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gives us so much, and he has commissioned us to go out into the world and give it to others. And so that's what we really desire. So we're hoping that we also have a large number of people from all communities coming out to get this training, because we are in the dire needs right now of being able to save ourselves and our families.
Right.
So
absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Sister Azziza.
Yes.
That's beautiful. And
If I may,
go right ahead, brother.
I was inspired from Sister Aziz's response, and then my mind is also on the question from before about the youth.
Mm-hmm.
My journey in getting registered actually happened right after attending the 2020 National Training Conference, being inspired from the young people. And as I've experienced myself personally over the last maybe 6 or 7 years, there's been a big push for self-improvement amongst the youth, especially on social media. That's where everybody first kind of tunes into it, and it's only gotten greater and more intense since 2020. And I'm thinking about how would we, attract young people, so to speak, or what are the young people interested in today? And I was thinking about, I don't know where I first heard it. It might have been the minister. It might have been Brother Nuri quoting the minister. But whenever somebody takes a picture of a group, right, and you're inside the group picture, the first person that you look for is yourself. Right? And I'm thinking back to the training conference and seeing the young people present. I saw a light in them, and being born inside the nation and seeing them also born inside the nation, seeing that kind of, clean glass, dirty glass, I was saying, well, I want to kind of, I gotta keep up, you know what I'm saying? And I have to improve myself and be the example and the person that I know I can be.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I would say that even thinking about my own spiritual journey, that's what the youth are interested in. They're interested in their journey from where they are now to the greatness that they see inside themselves. They see all of these celebrities and great people and basketball players and artists and scientists and thinkers and creators, and they're looking at them and they're saying, okay, I'm here, in my house in the ghetto. I don't have any money. My family doesn't have any money. How do I get from here to that spot? Right. And so that's where their mind is. Their mind is on self-improvement. How do I better myself? How do I become more disciplined? How do I stay off my phone more? Right? Who can I talk to? Who can I go to ask and get advice in this specific area that I'm trying to go into? Right? And so if you want to reach the youth, you have to talk to them about self-improvement and about developing themselves and training themselves and focusing themselves in, which is why I'm very excited for one of our workshops. It's a circle of people who have helped out, of young people who have helped out youth division specifically. But we're going to be in a circle answering questions and discussing how do we take ourselves to the next level. And just keeping with the theme of the training conference, that's what the training conference is. It's a whole seminar, a group of people coming under one roof and saying, today, I'm going to strive to make a jump to be better.
Absolutely.
And so, I just tie everything in because I was very touched from the question and then response.
All praises to
Allah. Praise be to Allah.
Yes, and let me share with you, Brother Akbar Khan and Sister Ruqayya and Sister Medina. This is what my concerns are regarding the youth, particularly the male youth, the FOI in the Nation of Islam. I would like to see from your perspective training in preparation for marriage, so that by the time you are of marital age, and of course that's dependent upon the person, but I want to see us more prepared as young people to take on the responsibility of a wife, to take on the responsibility of administering over a home and children. The reason why I say this is because I hear in my counseling session, and also feedback I received from young people in the mosque, you know, we need brothers in particular. We need that kind of training. I spoke with a brother in reference to a comment that I heard from him, that the sisters would come back from the singles retreat and be very disappointed, you know, because they couldn't find, you know, it didn't look like a lot of potential there. So my concern, and then he said, well, brother, he said, the reason why brothers are shying away from getting married because there are no jobs, you know, and they can't find jobs. And I shared with him, I said, brother, you know, as an FOI under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Quran, we cannot use that as an excuse for not getting married, especially when we are being taught to do for self, to prepare ourselves to take on these responsibilities. You know, marriage is the cornerstone, of course, of family. Family is the cornerstone of community, and community is the cornerstone of nation. So where you don't have strong marriages, then you don't have strong nation. So I want to see that more. I want to see young brothers and young sisters being prepared for that next stage or step in their development, from singularity or being single to being married, being a husband, being a wife, and a mother and a father. So I would hope in these conferences, maybe you touch on it, particularly from the perspective of our young people. We want to hear from you, and we also like to know that that's something that's going to be addressed. And I see Sister Medina's hand is up. Go ahead, dear sister.
Yes, sir. From my perspective now, I'm 21 years old. Inshallah, I'll be turning 22 in July. Okay. I think that we have a lot of conversations about marriage, but on both sides, there has to be an emphasis on self-improvement, because you won't be ready to match or be a mate to someone if you're not developing yourself. Right. You shouldn't learn how to cook because you need a husband. You should learn how to cook because you need to live. You should learn how to get a job or do for self because you need a wife. You should know how to do for self because that's how the only way you can survive. So I think that type of training on both sides is important. I think that also there's a spiritual component, like from a perspective of somebody who is 21 and has the brothers on the opposite side who are also my age. I believe that it would be very helpful for some kind of rigorous or whatever kind of teaching on like the true value of the woman, because if you truly understand that, besides, you know, opening the door and this and that, you truly understand that, you wouldn't even go to a singles retreat if you didn't have your stuff in order. I'm not saying like physical things. I'm talking about,
yes, ma'am,
marriage
praises due to Allah.
Is that thing you seek, right? But it's something that you earn after getting to a certain point in your thing, because you don't want to go into chaos. Like, you don't want to be like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't have no money. I don't have no this. I don't have no that. My soul's in the bind. Let me go find a wife to go fix that for me. That's some of the perspectives that people have. And then there's some women like, I ain't got no money, I ain't got no nothing. Let me go find a man. And I think that that's where we're going wrong. I will say, though, at least in my city, there are a lot of people who are young who are getting married, and inshallah, those marriages last. They're beautiful and youthful and things like that. But I would say, like, from my perspective as a young person, in order to get to that space where you're seeing more marriages, there has to be a focus on self-improvement, because both genders are looking outward. He gotta have this. He gotta have that. He gotta have that. Well, she don't have this. Well, she not doing that. What are you doing? Why are you there when you don't have this, and that?
Yeah,
You shouldn't even be talking about that
All
until you
praise
get to that
to
point.
God.
But
Yeah.
that's what I think. But we have ID9, which I'm blessed to be a part of, which is supposed to be a preparation for the women. And on Savior's Day, they've had male workshops. But maybe in the future we'll consider having conversations about that. But I truly think that maybe a male individual training during the seminar, because I think we have had on our end an all brothers. I think Brother Nuri did an all brothers workshop for the youth division once.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what he talked about, but I think it's supposed to be some type of self-improvement thing. And we should have those things. But I really do think that once you're on your dean in your studies, building a relationship with Allah, it starts to feel natural. Like, now I'm ready to go get a mate. Now I'm ready to do that. Sometimes we skip the steps, and now that's why the strong cornerstone of marriage isn't successful, because we skip the steps. I'm not saying that we have to be 100% put together, but there are steps to make you worthy of having a husband and make you worthy of having a wife, because you have a duty to them.
That's right.
Beautiful.
That's right. All praises due to Allah. Thank you, Sister Medina.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would
Yes,
someone
sir.
else like to weigh in on this?
Absolutely.
I know us old timers. we can share what we've experienced. I've been married 43 years by Allah's grace, and I know you've been married quite a few years, Brother Captain. I don't necessarily know about you, Brother Captain Calvin, and we certainly could give advice from my experience, but I want to hear from the youth. We have experienced panel discussions on male-female relationships, and we have so every year, as a matter of fact, but they're usually conducted by panelists who are not your age. Not your age, Brother Akbar Khan, not your age, Sister Medina, not your age, Sister Rukiah. And we really need to hear from you regarding this subject matter of male-female relationships. And even though your experiences may not be as extensive as us older folks, but we want to hear from you how you see it, what you think, what you can offer, in terms of advice. And this is educational and inspirational to me, so I can go back to the mosque and talk to the brothers and sisters, because they kind of listen, maybe because I'm old. I don't know, but I've been in the ministry for quite a while, in the student ministry, over 40 years, and I've been over cities, and I've counseled a number of young couples. I want to be able to go back to them and that I've learned something new from you all.
Yes, sir.
And be able to help them.
Yes, sir. Might I help you out just with some advice from the young,
Come on, brother.
So in 2021, I have all these years in my head. It's been a very quick five years. In 2021, me, along with Sister Rukiah and Sister Medina and other youths inside the nation, we put together for Savior's Day a youth retreat. It was a virtual youth retreat. Mm-hmm. And we had the great honor of ending off the youth retreat, of having the Honorable Minister Farrakhan speak to the youth.
Beautiful.
And he brought up, very briefly, finding your mate. Mm-hmm. And he used a very interesting word that still kind of replays in my mind. He said, when you stumble across the one, or stumble upon the one that Allah has for you. I don't know if that's verbatim, but he used that word stumble. I'll never forget that word stumble. And when you stumble on something, you don't really see it. Your mind is elsewhere. Your mind is on what you're going to be doing that day, and then you stumble over your shoe, or you stumble over whatever's inside your pack. And that kind of scene goes right into what Sister Medina was saying. In terms of the brothers, I don't think we automatically have the mindset of, when I become a husband and father, I need to support a family. and you are that cornerstone that the family, everybody inside the family is going to point to and say, we need you to do this.
That's
that. We need you to help us with this. How can you help us in this moment right now? Which is a lot of it's a lot of attention and maybe even a lot of stress if the brother isn't capable enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And so going back to the training seminar, I think that the training seminar any year, and Brother James, I'm definitely gonna jot down the marriage and maybe brothers and sisters kind of idea for this year, next year. I'm definitely getting that tonight. My coach, so to speak, Sister Lisa, who's behind the scenes, and she's inside the comments. So assalamu alaikum, just Lisa. But if the brother stays focused on himself and he develops himself and he learns all the different maybe medical or survival tactics and strategies, because we're living in a very uncertain time. That's right. As I said previously, we rely heavily on electronics for our food, for our transportation, for almost everything at this point. And so what would happen if we don't have our normal kind of day-to-day things in order? Does the brother know how to change a tire on a car? Right? These are the very basic ground level things, some of which we go over at this year's training conference. And so training is always the goal of the man, right? You want to develop yourself. As Sister Medina was saying, you want to self-improve, right? And so I encourage all the young people to come to the Youth Division for this year's 2025 National Training Seminar and learn some of these survival things that will build you up as a man, and inshallah as a father. So I would urge them to go.
Thank you, dear brother. All praise is due to Allah. We do have some videos, Brother Captain. If you wanted us to play them as promos for the upcoming national training,
that would be great. Before we close. Yes, sir.
All right. But thank you for, and I want to hear from you all when we come back from the video, Sister Medina, Sister Rakaya, I'm not trying to exclude you, Brother Captain, you, Brother Captain Azziz. I just want to take advantage. I want to pick their brains.
Yes, sir.
Young people, all praise is due to Allah. Okay, so let's go, Sister Sheila, if we could go to the first video promo.
Family, this is Brother Zion. Look, I just wanted to stop by and give a huge thank you to our Assistant Supreme Captain, Brother Dr.Abdul Aziz Muhammad, and his lovely wife, Sister Azziza Muhammad, for putting on for yet another year our National Training Conference. Now look, I need y'all to listen for a second. We're talking about 30 years of empowering. We're talking about 30 years of inspiring. We're talking about 30 years of training, workshops, seminars, things that will help us gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and develop skills within us that we can use in our personal lives, with our families, and things that we can teach to our families and people that we care about. I need all of us to register. It's very important. We show our love and appreciation by being dutiful. So I need all of y'all to click the link in my bio and register for this year's National Training Conference. Again, you can register via the bskjujitsu.com. Again, thank you, Dr. Abdul Aziz Muhammad, and thank you to your lovely wife, Sister Azziza Muhammad, for thinking about us enough to equip us with skills that we need to survive. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Salam. Praise be to Allah. Sister Sheila, do we have another? We got to get these videos in. Wow, this time it's flying,
I think as we're waiting, I would like to just speak on. Oh, there we are.
There we go. We'll get right back to you, Brother Akbar Khan.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank Grandmaster and all the Grand Masters, male and female, that are here. And I want to thank you for demonstrating the greatness of your skill.
I'm saying, when I'm confronted by him, the question is, what do I see in him? What do I see? If we're taught that when we look at another man or brother or sister, when we look at our alternate's heart, we've got to see ourselves. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now the question is, what do you see? Do you see yourself, or do you see someone capable of destroying you?
They chose good music for that.
All right. All praises due to Allah. All right. Go ahead, Brother Akbar Khan.
Yes, sir. I just want to kind of go over some of the events that will be held at the training conference this year. So as we mentioned, it is July 24th to the 27th at Tinley Park, Illinois. And within the youth division, we're having many different workshops on survival, on healthcare, on mental health. And even we're having these circles where we speak amongst different youth who have participated inside the youth division in prior years. But we're also having, after some of the seminars, we're having some banquets on Friday and Saturday. And so there's many different options, as well as you can attend virtually. Or if you don't want to do some of the martial arts or engage fully, you can join and register as a spectator, and you can view everything. So there's something here. There's an option to attend for everybody in every case. And I don't want to those who are watching to think that, just because everybody here is in suits and beautiful scarves, that this is a religious or solely religious gathering.
Okay.
This is open to anybody who, once again, wants to prepare themselves for any situation and wants to be a more competent individual and wants to improve and feel prepared and confident in their own skills and abilities. That's what this training is here for. And so, once again, all are welcome. You don't have to be a registered member of the nation. You don't have to even know the slightest bit about the nation. You might have stumbled on this video from clicking on YouTube, and then you say, oh, these guys are live. Let me check this out. And you're here. So come join, find something about yourself and improve yourself and grow into a better, stronger individual. So that's all I wanted to share, Brother James.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, dear brother. All praise is due to Allah.
There also will be a white party.
Yes.
Not to be confused with a white party, but a white party where everybody will be, dressed in their finest whites to have some fun. There'll be the awards banquet, like Brother Akbar Khan said. We might run our little youth party back like we had last time. Everybody really has some fun. And, like he just said, there'll be something for everyone. And we want to make sure that the youth know that, and everyone knows that it's never over. No matter what you've done in your past, no matter what you got going on, you can always decide to change today and say, you know what? I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to go in a better direction. And the training conference is that place to say, hey, I'm going to start over. Because it's really smack dab in the middle of the year. Saves it at the top. Holidays it towards the end. Ramadan's in like the earlier months. It's really that renewal, rejuvenation event that are really, you with like minds, you with comfortable people, you with family. And it just puts you in the spirit of like, I need to get on my deen.
Yeah.
And so if that's what you're looking for, come. This is your place to be.
Allahu Akbar. All praise is due to Allah. Sister Rakaya, you look like you are inclined to say something. Did you want to say something?
Actually, my grandmother wanted to say something. She was saying something in my.
Come on, sister. you have carte blanche on this program.
Children will always rat you out, won't they? I just wanted to make it clear that when we are speaking about the youth division, we have included the 8 to 12-year-olds as well.
Yeah.
So when Brother Akbar Khan says there's something for everyone, there really is. I mean, we've even considered the child care for those who are ages 4 to 8. So no excuses. We're trying to limit the excuses of not being there. Okay? So please, if you have any questions, you can call us as well at 773-769-7017. That's 773-769-7017, and we'll answer your questions.
Awesome. All praises due to Allah. And of course, the registration information. Can we hear that again? Or
that's www.
On the bottom of the Sister Sheila, can we scroll it, or what can we do just to be up there for people to see?
Sister Lisa put it in the chat so that it would be available, and they can snatch that and put it up if they need. But that would be great.
Well, if you all can hear, and you can write it down or something, it's www.thevskjujitsu.com. That is THEVSKJIUJITSU.com. Register a youth, sponsor a youth, register an adult, register for the banquet, register for everything. We have to invest in our own. I cannot wait to see you guys there. It's going to be very exciting.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay, we've got about 5 more minutes. Who would like to monopolize that? We have to go into closing announcements. So
please, if Brother Calvin, can you give some on the adult in terms of these last moments? That would be wonderful.
Absolutely. And if I could share quickly, family, because the time that we live in is perilous. And so as I give kind of the workshops, I want to make sure we understand that what we're teaching, there's some crisis or life-changing events that are going to happen.
Yeah.
Myself and the Fruit of Islam in Kansas City, we were out and in one of the most dangerous areas. And, a shooting started while we were out. And I don't know if you've ever been, when someone starts shooting, there's a sound. And then when you're close to the firearm, there's a small shockwave. And we were that close. And so after it cleared, you could see, the smoke clearing and whatnot. But I saw a brother who had a drink in his hand and he spilled it. I thought it was spilled. It was blood coming from the brother. And so as myself and some of the other brothers went over, there were 2 shooting victims. And I went to attend to this brother. And because we've had these workshops in the national training, I could literally hear Brother Rudolph, who did a triage situation, walking me through the steps of controlling the bleeding.
Wow.
And, the brother had mentioned that he was getting lightheaded. I knew he was losing blood, so I can hear the instruction saying his heart is fighting against gravity, lay him down. And while we were tending to him, the shooters were still present. But we had at the National Training Conference, we had a brother who came and did a presentation on de-escalation and crowd intervention. And so we were able to separate those shooters and bring down the temperature. No law enforcement is there at the point, but we were able to do that, as well as we were able to deal with some of the other tragic situations that were going on well before law enforcement came.
Yes,
so I'm sharing that because these are trainings that are life-saving trainings that we were getting. the community intervention, dealing with protocols on law enforcement that we had to deal with in that situation, medical attention that we had to deal with in that situation. And it goes on. And I'm talking about the life-saving situations. There are tornadoes happening. I'm in Missouri in Tornado Alley, but Tornado Alley has been updated. It goes all the way to the south end of Chicago now. And so learning disaster preparedness is critical now, because it's no longer we hear tornado sirens and it's just a drill. That's a thing of the past. Now people are starting to look up at the sky. And so we're looking at the shelves being dismantled and no food on the shelves. So we have people who come in and they teach you how you can grow food in your home or in your backyard in order to survive. Those are some of the life-saving trainings that are happening at the national training that will literally save your life or someone else. So I just want to encourage everyone, don't take the training for granted. Come on in, because you will, if you're a member of the Nation of Islam, you are going to have a life-changing event if you're in the community. It's just a matter of when, and you want to be prepared for that.
Right.
Come on.
Beautiful.
All praise is due to Allah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow.
All praise is due to Allah. Just wanted to put that up there. Allahu Akbar. Well, we have arrived at that time where we've got to close the broadcast down. I want to express my great gratitude for you all, my esteemed guests, taking time out of your busy schedules to be a part of this most important broadcast. Brother Student Assistant Supreme Captain, my captain.
Thank you.
To Allah. And Brother Captain Calvin, of course, got to give it up for you as well. And my dear sisters, Sister Medina and Sister Ruqayya, and my dear brother Akbar Khan. Just a very quick announcement that in pursuit of being relevant in the categories that you all were sharing with us, we are attempting to get a broadcast that speaks to and specifically deals with the youth and of course its condition, or your conditions, your desires, your aspirations, and the solutions that you put forth. I don't know what it's going to be called. It used to be called the Farrakhan generation, but I don't know if it's going to be called that now, because Student Minister Ismail said, well, no matter what age you are, if you're following the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you're in the Farrakhan generation. So I want to take that into consideration, but we need a youth broadcast. So what I'm unashamedly soliciting, put that on your minds and your consideration. We need a brother and a sister host for that broadcast. So put the word out, and we're going to be advertising it, but we need that broadcast as part of the network. Yes. So think about it. All praises due to Allah. Okay. There's another flyer, beautiful flyer. Wow, that is beautiful.
That's only because she's in
it. I mean, we didn't think otherwise, Brother Supreme. Brother Sister Supreme, with all due respect.
That's right.
We kind of figured this, we thought the same way. All praises due to Allah. So yes, the national training of 2025. Inshallah, hope to see you all there in our viewing and listening audience. May Allah continue to bless you. I'll leave the closing statements to you, our dear brother, Student Assistant Supreme Dr. Abdul Azziz Ahmed.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Yeah. You know, I love you just like or more than you love me. I mean, you're a beautiful brother, and you have been. Yes, I saw something in you, and what I saw in you was who we follow. I saw the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and that's what you've always been showing. And Allah, I mean, it's just proof in all that you do. So thank you very much for having us and giving us the opportunity to share this with our nation and with those that listen to your program. We really, really thank you. I want to just say this to everyone that one of the highlights, I pray that it becomes a highlight, but what we're going to do on the Saturday morning is we're going to have a parade type event where we're going to, when we go into the main area where the activity and the training happens, we're going to go into it. We're going to line up and go in, and will be music that's playing, and we're going to come in representing banners for your city. You can have, Brother James, a banner for the program.
All praises to Allah.
And walk in with that, and we're going to have a wonderful video op where it's going to take everybody that's coming in. We're going to move right on in, get in, and we'll move from there into the next phase. But that's a lot of people, inshallah. We have had a great number of people, but we're going to come on into that and do that, and present, so we got family that's coming from Jamaica. We got family that's coming from Freeport and Nassau, Bahamas. We have, those that are international and national. We want to have everybody come in. So get your flags and your banners together.
Yes,
so
sir.
You can be represented and enjoy. So we're going to have a good time, man. Thank you very much again.
Allah. Thank you. And now we have to rush to the closing announcements because we got to close within a certain time to archive this wonderful broadcast so people can revisit it and see it. So very quickly,
yes,
Sister Sheila, we want everyone to purchase their Final Call newspaper. As you see the brothers out in the highways and the byways, make sure you get your copy, not just one, but maybe 2 or 3 or 4. You can also access the Final Call through a digital avenue with the Final Call digital. All praise is due to Allah. So subscribe today. Go to finalcalldigital.com. Praise be to Allah. You can also go visit our store, store.finalcall.com, to get videos, books, and tapes of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All praise is due to Allah. And that is our Savior's Day. Yes. Okay. We've also got Final Call Radio. You make sure that you download this app, Final Call Radio. We had a recent telethon or radiothon, and it's still going on. So if you want to donate to Final Call Radio, please, finalcall.com. Radio, finalcall.com. If you want to pick up the box set of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's historical music, Let's Change the World, do so now. You can go to lctwmusic.com. All right, we're kind of rushing it. Remember, while COVID is not necessarily the talk of the day, it's still out there, and other viruses. So make sure you take the necessary precautions. Take care of yourself and your health. And for those of you who believe what you heard today and other broadcasts is the truth and good for you and good for your people, and you want to join the Nation of Islam, you can go right now to noi.org/join, and you'll be prompted as to what to do to become a member of the Nation of Islam. And I think that covers it. Don't forget your donations now to Closing the Gap broadcast. We really need your help because we got some great plans in terms of bringing this message to the people. This Sunday in St. Petersburg, Florida at Childs Park YMCA, One Hood Under God. And the keynote speaker will be Student Minister Nuri Muhammad. We hope to see you there. This Sunday, if you're not near a mosque, you can tune into NOI.org and hear the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, given by one of the profound students of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Tune into NOI.org. I think that's it. Sister Sheila, I know we're going to be able to see this again, right? All right. I'm shutting up. She's telling. All praise is due to Allah. Thank you. Let's end the broadcast. Praise be to Allah.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.